he in jail. And ain't not a single assist. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been not a single assist. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been killing that, flicking that wrist. Yeah, I've been killing that. Yeah, I've been hard in the paint, not a single assist. Yeah,
clockwise, counterclockwise. Realest in the top 5. Other 4 ain't rapping. I'm just repping for the side. Yeah, that's coastlines. Panama for the boat rides. Worth billions, and we ain't even need showtime. Just money counters and kitchenware. Condo with a in there.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. In today's game, we have a matchup in the NFC North between two of the best in the league to do it. It's A.J. Green going up against Antonio Brown. So with that, let's get you out to the stadium. Standing by tonight are our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Coming up, it's a rematch from last year's AFC wildcard round between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And hello again, everybody. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin here in the booth. And Chuck, you take a look at this matchup. I don't know if it's going to be one in the trenches from the quarterbacks out, whatever. It's going to be a good game.
Oh, without a doubt. I can't wait to see the big fellas have an impact. We're always spotlighting those wide receivers and quarterbacks and running backs and even the defensive backs. But the big guys, I can't wait to see which one tilts the balance for their team.
On to get us started now, the kicker, Chris Boswell. And we are underway from Heinz Field. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. First and 10. And his first look is incomplete. Jeremy Hill there was the intended target. That'll bring up second down. The first carry now. This is Hill. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31. So Jeremy Hill got the call there, and he's trying to pick his yardage back up. 2 years ago, Charles, he was over 1,100. Last year, below 800.
Just never got going with any consistency throughout the 2015 season. You know his determination is sky high for this one.
And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down. So now the Cincinnati native, also former Bearcat, and now a Bengal, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. Back deep for the Steelers, Antonio Brown. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Taking it about the 36. And just a 30-yard punt that time. And the Steelers will go on offense here, first and 10. And now we get a look at a Pittsburgh offense led by Ben Roethlisberger. And the Steelers, they've kind of taken control of the NFC North. Big Ben leaned on the kicking game in Week 15. Chris Boswell tying a club record with 6 field goals in the win over Cincinnati.
He showed a real veteran. The adage of take what the defense gives you usually applies well, but you also have to know when to take what you need. And late in the game, after those 6 field goals, they punched over a touchdown, and those were the winning points.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Escaping the trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Alabama man, Dre Kirkpatrick. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out with a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Hill. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. 13 yards there on the pickup, and it's good enough for a Cincinnati first down.
Really good, solid run right there, and they did it from a 4-wide receiver set. And if you're an offensive coordinator, they used to tell people, hey, we're going to throw the football. Now they use 4 receivers on the field to spread things out, give them more running lanes and more options, and also it usually takes the bigger defenders off the field, makes the defense lighter and easier to run against.
So a little jumpy there defensively. Ref caught him in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Following the penalty, it's Hill. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy is going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now.
And now to the air, Dalton. Trying to drop one in, but it's incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short. So 3rd and goal. The defense in the dime.
Can still bring pressure.
And he is in. Touchdown, Bengals. Jeremy Hill taking it in from a yard out. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window? He's got a man, complete. That one goes for 34 yards. And that'll be good for a Pittsburgh first. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's no quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
Bell, of course, missed the first few games of the season, but still top 5 in the league in rushing. Was, though, held under 100 in Week 15.
Well, he probably used a lot of that in Week 14 at Buffalo when he ran for 236 yards.
I think he's still running against Buffalo.
So he probably left a little behind. But what a matchup issue he is for any defense because of his ability to split out from the backfield and catch the football as well.
They come up with one running back. That's Bell. Blitz coming, and down he goes. All-Pro Geno Atkins in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and it can all hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
On now, Chris Boswell. He was 29 of 32 in the field goal department last year as a rookie. And Boswell missed it. Missed it to the right. No good. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's a sloppy beginning for them. An interception on their opening drive, and now a missed field goal here on drive number 2.
Doesn't feel like they've shown up yet. It's been a very flat start. And against a team like this, you just can't let that happen.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down.
We are watching a runner having a really nice game. Carrying it very well. Vision is excellent, but boy, look at the help he's getting. Offensive line, I think they're pretty eager to block for him.
Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1.
Well, so many times we look at it.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, and it's the Bengals with a football to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 3rd down and a yard to start things out. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They come up in an offset eye. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right in midfield. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
On 2nd down, Hill. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
2 plays in a row, the defense won, stacking up the running game. They've got to feel good about themselves, but something has to be in the back of their minds. Are we being set up for something big? They've got to be careful.
Here's Dalton. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6, and that's going to make it 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
He gets it away, and I think they'll smartly play keep away here from Brown. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive. Missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there, you've given yourself a chance, you're in range, and the ball doesn't go through the post. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going. I'm not sure how many people anticipated Le'Veon Bell being such a huge part of the passing offense when he came out of Michigan State. Remember how thick he was? A big, bulkier runner. Slimmed down since he got to the NFL, and that increased all aspects of his game.
Yeah, because 2 years ago, he caught 83 passes. Last year, 24, but then he had the injury. You got to think they're going to continue to get him more involved like they did there.
I don't think there's any question about it. He is an absolute game breaker with the ball in his hands.
And I know it's hard in live action, but you've got to keep your hands away from the face. That's a 15-yard penalty.
You work on it all the time, making sure your target area is lower and trying to keep your hands away from the face mask so you don't get the big penalty.
And he'll be out of bounds up past the 45. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
I go all the way back to college with Le'Veon Bell, one of the better body transformations I've seen, from a big, thick power back to the guy we see now who can do everything.
And 2 years ago, of course, last year the injury, but 2 years ago over 1,300 yards. I think they think he can top that this year.
I don't think there's any question about it.
Here's Roethlisberger, flush to his right, and he fires one incomplete. Sammy Coates, the intended target there.
Brandon, I think the NFL in recent years made an absolute brilliant tactical decision, and that was to move a lot of the divisional games to the end of the year in hopes that it would mean something. And, you know, remember at that time it was, hey, we don't want people to rest players down the stretch. Well, I think it's worked brilliantly because we've got some big-time games potentially showing up here at the end of 2016.
Adds intrigue in some big games. Intrigue also, though, because even if you've got two teams that maybe are having bad seasons, they're usually rivals, and that helps at the gate.
It certainly does. Helps in a lot of ways. Even if you're not playing for a playoff spot, as you said, if you're a rival, it still gets the interest of the fans.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. And an electric scamper there from the second-round pick in 2013 out of Michigan State.
And how about the way he's remade his body in the NFL? You remember back at Michigan State, he had some agility, but now he's slimmed down and he's gotten even quicker, which has led to more runs like the one we just saw there.
Now Roethlisberger on first down. Over the middle here to Coates. And down inside the 15 he goes. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. Back now. As I search for my cue card here, there we go. Coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis from our first half of play.
Well read.
Oh, thank you. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. This is Bell on the dump-off. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that'll make it 3rd and 1. And quickly they get to the line. They'll try and run for it with Bell. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And he was excellent on that drive. He deserved to be the one to get across the chalk.
Oh, I agree with you totally. A workhorse on the drive. And how about that last decisive run to punch it in?
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And no, it falls incomplete. So the 2-point conversion, no good. And that is one, no doubt, that may come back to haunt them because the PAT tied it. They didn't need to go for 2.
I keep searching for an explanation. I know it's quick right here. I think I can search for the next year and not come up with anything that absolutely works. Kick the point, man. Kick the point. I don't get it.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. 2nd
down now after the pass completion.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Last couple of games, A.J. Green's been absent, including Week 15 against the Steelers. But despite his missed time, he still leads the Bengals in receiving yards.
And really would love to play down the stretch because he is less than 40 yards away from his 6th straight 1,000-yard season. That's what he's looking for right now. They can't go to the playoffs. They can't get a winning record. I think A.J. Green would love to have that 1,000-yard season to finish things off. And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. First and 10 for Dalton. A dump off now to Hill. And down inside the 15 he goes. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Dalton operating in the red zone now. Underneath here to Hill. And he showcased the spin, but couldn't do much else as he's wrangled down. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll make it 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner.
And he fires one that's intercepted. It's the first-round pick, Artie Burns. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. That late in the clock, 2nd quarter, why not just run it a time or 2 and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may force them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
It's a gain of 7, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
If you're running out route, it's under review. partner, they're less than 2 minutes to go in the game, which means that this challenge was initiated by the fellas in New York.
And if you're the coach, you're thinking, thank you, New York. He was trying to find Ladarius Green there as tight end, and it's third down.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown in the final seconds of the first half. And the Steelers have taken the lead.
Well, someone has a sense of the dramatic here, don't they? Scoring this late in the half to take the lead going into the locker room.
Now they just don't want to misstep misfortune on the next kickoff because there's still a little bit of time left on that clock.
Yeah, you do have to bring that up, don't you? In the NFL, every play is critical. If you give up something cheap there, all that advantage they just gained goes right out the window.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The final act of the first half. Dalton, he's got time. He's going to loft one deep left side here. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Charles. And welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Both teams have had their moments so far.
Well, we're going to let you off a little easy there, LR. Halftime interrupted, and we are ready to get to this third quarter. This will be fielded at the 8. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
They'll come out in the pistol. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger, 28-yard line. Give him 9 on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw. Whenever I go to a team's practice facility and watch them work, I love to watch the defensive guys in what they call pursuit drills. The ball goes either towards them or away from them. How fast will they respond? On this play, the defensive end responded better than anyone and made a really nice play.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. He was looking to hit his running back, Le'Veon Bell, that time.
So many times when I've been working with you, you've talked about a quarterback dropping it in the bucket on a deep pass.
Oh, boy.
You know where I'm going, right?
I know where you're going.
Ezekiel had dropped his body into the bucket. It was his charity bucket behind the end zone against Tampa Bay after scoring a touchdown. How cool was that?
I thought it was one of the greatest celebrations for a touchdown I've ever seen. And you know what? It's a good charity. Money going to feed families during the holiday season.
Yes.
And the numbers have shown that that jump into the bucket has helped the bigger jump into the bucket to feed those families. So very cool. They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, They have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt. And he still doesn't have a catch. We're into the second half. I think it's a little bit of a surprise to me, but that was one he should have caught.
Absolutely. That was his best opportunity right there. He dropped it. Roethlisberger will throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time. But sometimes you just have to take things into your own hands, don't you? I mean, the offense is really struggling in this game. They're the ones keeping things going. They have to continue to play at that level.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. Again, we'll see the pistol here. 2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. Trying here for Bryant, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're very deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this, until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
The play fake to Hill. Dalton. And his throw here is incomplete. And Pittsburgh with 6 defensive backs in the game here on 3rd down. To throw here, Dalton. And he's got the hook up to Brandon LaFell. A good rally to the football holds him to 2, and that brings up a 4th down. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Steeler offense, they're set up nicely as they take over. Here comes Ben Roethlisberger in the... On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And this one caught by Coates. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 14. Yards that time for number 14. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's Steeler football, and they have the lead as well as we begin quarter. Perhaps one more stop could do it for this defense. They'll head out here with a 2-score lead in tow in this fourth quarter. Dalton, 1st and 10. And over the middle, it's LaFell. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A good start there on 1st down. They've got to have this drive.
No doubt about it. Down a couple of scores. They have to find a way to put it in the end zone. Chunk plays, explosive plays. That will be the key to this drive.
Dalton now to pass. He completes it to Boyd. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. It's 2nd down. Dalton looking. Complete to the right side. It's Eifert. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. It's a gain of 21 that time. And that'll be good enough for a Cincinnati first. Fresh set of downs here.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of Central Casting, frankly.
Absolutely.
I mean,
size, the hands.
The speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
That is caught inside the 5. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Extra point. It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. Fourth quarter action, beginning of the drive. Time to see how this defense does here. He'll look to throw. And a right side completion here by LaFell. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Back to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Tyler Boyd, the former Pitt Panther, was the target. And it's 3rd and short. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. He's back to throw. And that's complete to LaFell. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. That's what they need right now. Get the 1st down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Back to throw. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
Can you do any more work or make it more dramatic for not much gain than what we just saw there? Did you see how his toes got down? Tip-tap, got him down. But what did he get out of it?
He sold the sizzle. He just had no steak.
I mean, was it 1 yard?
Yeah, plays like that, you at least expect a 1st down. They're just 1 yard. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. Get dropped in 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. Big 4th down here. It's Dalton. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about